Okay, good morning, grade 8. So I believe you are keeping yourselves safe because COVID is bad out there. So make sure you stay at one place. Don't be so adventurous. Okay, so I expect you to be going through all the videos that are being sent on the platform. So today we are going to look at another type of a subtopic, which is multiplication. So it's still under algebra. So multiplication of algebra. So how are we supposed to multiply? So it's very important that you understand this type of an operation, because I told you to say that mathematics is just a language that you need to understand. So this is another type of a language which is involved in mathematical language. Understand the operation called multiplication. Once you understand the way you're supposed to do it, then it becomes very simple. So we have some examples there. So simplify the following. So we have x times x. So we know that we have variables there. These are variables. Then how are we supposed to multiply these variables? How are we supposed to multiply a coefficient, a variable, and also a number once they are combined like that? Even there. So it's very important that you understand the way you're supposed to multiply these variables combined with numbers or coefficients. Now, on the first one, we can say, so bear with me, this is where I'll put my solutions. I'll start from there. Now, the first one, we are saying x times x. X times x. So, we know that there is a coefficient of 1 there, and we also know that there is a coefficient of 1 there. So, what is important when it comes to multiplication? Always, if we have the signs, as usual, start with the signs. Multiply the signs. Then come to the coefficients. Multiply the coefficients. Then come to the what? Variables. So in this case, we know that there is a 1 there. There is a 1 there. So obviously, once you multiply 1 times 1, it will always give you a 1. So we come to the variables. X times x. What is x times x? Remember, we said that if we have, let me just say, if we have 2 x squared, sorry. So x squared, it means that there we have, this is just a short way of saying x times x. So we are simply saying there are 2 x's there. So x squared, it means you have 2x there. So x times x. So if we are saying we have x to the power 3 or x cubed, it means that you have 3 x's, which is so x times x times x. That's what it means. When you have x to the power 4, it means that this is x times x times x times x. Just like that. So this is just a shorter way of representing this. This is equal to that. This is equal to that. So you can have x to the power 5, x to the power 6, just like that. So in this case, we are saying x times x. So it's just the shorter way of writing this. How are we supposed to write it in a shorter way? So once you multiply this times this, it is not going to give you. So most of you make a confusion there. Okay, you get it wrong because you treat this one to be what? Addition, whereby someone is going to say this is 2x. No, this is what? Multiplication. So if you are multiplying and the variables are the same, it means that x times x, it means you are going to have 2x. So how are you supposed to write this in a shorter way? You simply say, so we're saying x times x, this will give us x what? Squared. So because you're saying there are 2 x's there, and if you're multiplying, that's the way you're supposed to write it in a shorter way. So x times x is x squared. X times x times x is x what? Cubed. X times x times x times x is x to the power 4 or exponent 4. That's the way you're supposed to represent that. So this is your f. Then b. For b we are saying 3b times 5. So 3b times 5. How are we supposed to multiply? So I said that the first thing, multiply what? The numbers. Once you multiply these coefficients, you go to the variables. It's just simple and direct. So you start with the numbers there. So you say 3 times 5. So this will give us what? 15. Then you go to the variables. So b, there we don't have any variable. Since you are multiplying, you just get, there is no other variable which is there. So you just get this variable and put it there like that. So it ends there. So this is 15 what? B. Then we go to C. So for C we are saying is 7a times 2b. So as usual, start with the coefficients. So we have 7 and a 2. So multiply the coefficients. Then you go to the variables. So 7 times 2. This will give you what? 14. Then the variables a times b. This will just give us a, b, because they are not the same. If we had a and a there, we would have said a what? Square. Now these, they are not the same. So we just simply add them there like that. A b, 14, a b, like that. Then we can answer usual. So we are going to do d. So d, I'll do it from this part. So negative 2t times 4t. So in this case, we are saying negative 2 and also a 4. So the first thing there is a negative there. Okay? So what is important again, you are supposed to understand that once you multiply different signs, they always give you a negative sign. If the signs are the same and you multiply them, they always give you what? A positive sign. So we have negative. There we know that even if there is no sign, this is positive. So I said that you start with what is at the first position is this one, second and third. So multiply the signs. Negative times positive. What are you going to get is a negative. So then you go to the coefficients step by step. 2 times 4. What are you going to get? This is 8. Then you go to the variables. T times t. What are you going to get? Since there are 2 there. So you simply say this is t what? Square. So it ends there. So this is very simple. Move step by step. Start with the sign, then coefficient, then the variable. It is something that is very simple. So we go to question E. So E. So for E we are saying this is negative 2t times 9v. So as usual, it's the same procedure there. So you're supposed to start with what is on the first position there. So we have this sign which is negative. Then there is also a positive. So we simply say negative times positive. Different signs, once you multiply them, they always give you what? A negative sign. So this is going to give us a negative. We go to the coefficients. 2 times 9. This will give us what? 18. Then you go to the variables. T times v. So we know that they are not the same. So you just bring them the way they are, just like that. So this is your final answer. Then we do what? F. So F is saying negative x times, then in brackets they've put negative y, like that. Now, when it comes to multiplication there, obviously you remember we said that if we have, let's say, x plus y, these are unlike terms, no so. So you cannot add the unlike terms. So it means that the answer ends just there. So if the answer is when you are adding or subtracting, yes, you can't do anything there. You can't simplify. Now, when it comes to multiplication, it's a different case. When it comes to multiplication, it's a different. So in this case, this is a different case. So you need to understand, as usual, we know that there is a coefficient of 1, there is a coefficient of 1, and the sign is there. So as usual, start with the sign. Negative times negative. So this will give us what? A positive, as usual. Then we go to the coefficients. Obviously, we know this is just a 1. So x times y, it is going to give us that. So the final answer is going to be x y. Since we know that even if you don't put a positive there, it's just the same. So this is the way you're supposed to find these questions with regard to multiplication operation. Okay, so an exercise for you. Okay, so this is a very simple exercise for you. So you're supposed to simplify and make sure you consider the steps starting with the sign, coefficient, then you go to the variables. So for today, this is where we end. I encourage you to study and try to practice these questions time and again. Thank you.